Mercer Burnham, we got a great night in the NHL as Sidney Crosby and the Penguins are in Edmonton, taking on Connor McDavid and the Oilers. Neither of these teams have gotten off to the hottest of starts. But it's not Crosby or McDavid's fault, as both are around a point a game entering tonight. These two players also have the ultimate respect for each other. Just listen to what McDavid said about Crosby and Canada's captaincy for the Four Nations face-off.
Should be said for sure. That's not even a question.
This is what I'm talking about. This is Canadian on Canadian respect. Now, neither guy would ever compare their careers, but that's what we're here for. So let's dive deep into 87 against 97. Connor's played in exactly 652 games, so we'll look at Sid's career that many games in. And doing so reminds us just how dominant he really was. Crosby had an insane 870 points in those games, which would be the 6th best scoring pace in NHL history. But somehow, some way, Connor McDavid's numbers have been even better, as he's got over 100 more points in the same amount of games. In fact, his scoring pace is 3rd all time, trailing only, you guessed it, Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. It's a similar story when looking at the career accolades. Once again, Crosby has an insane trophy case, but McDavid has him beat. So in terms of regular season stats and awards, the edge goes to Connor, but Crosby has him beat where it really counts, and that's winning. McDavid has been to just one Stanley Cup final, falling a game short just a season ago. But at the same age, Crosby had already reached 2 Cup finals, winning one of them. It's also worth noting that Crosby played his 652nd game right before 2 more Cup runs. So unless McDavid and the Oilers can three-peat, playoff success goes to Crosby. And we haven't even mentioned international hockey, as Crosby has 2 Olympic golds for Canada. So where it matters most, winning, Sid the Kid has a pretty big advantage. Crosby and McDavid are 2 of the biggest talents we've ever seen in this game. And it's only fair that we judge them at the end of their careers. But for now, if you value stats, you lean McDavid. But if winning is more important, it's definitely Crosby. But either way, it's a treat that we get to watch these two face off again tonight. To the association, and we were just one game into this Raptors season. And the start of the season was not ideal, to say the least, as Toronto was absolutely destroyed by Cleveland in the opener Wednesday. But looks get a little easier tonight against Philly. And that's because Philly is still without Joel Embiid and Paul George. But on the Raptors side of things, they aren't faring much better either, as the Raps will be without both RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, as well as no Kelly Olynyk and no Bruce Brown. Now, one of the bright spots from Game 1 was the play of Grady Dick, who is now in the starting lineup. Well, Dick scored 16 points and 5 of 13 shooting, also hitting a couple threes. My thoughts on Raptors Game 1, I lost money because of Scotty Barnes. So I'm a little mad, actually. You can watch the Sixers and Raps tonight on TSN. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Time now for M&M's Huddle. So let's huddle with our home team and look ahead to a huge rivalry in the AFC West. Coming into the season, we all knew the Chiefs were the best team in the league, as Patrick Mahomes and company were attempting to be the first team in NFL history to win 3 straight Super Bowls. Well, not only have they started 6-0, but they just added DeAndre Hopkins, and it didn't cost them much. A 5th-round pick that can turn into a 4th if they make the Super Bowl and he plays 60% of the snaps. But given the injury KC has sustained at the receiver position so far this season, it's a move they needed to make. So coming into this week's matchup against the Raiders, you'd think this would be an easy Chiefs win, but not so fast, my friend. Let's go back to Christmas last year, when my Raiders went into Arrowhead and beat up KC. They sacked Mahomes 4 times, picked him off once, and forced another turnover via an Isaiah Pacheco fumble. They also held KC to just 14 points, their 2nd lowest point total of the year last year. So this team definitely has the blueprint to stopping the Mahomes read offense. But let's add a little spice into this matchup, because during the offseason, Raiders coach Antonio Pierce said some controversial things that can end up costing Vegas tonight.
You got the Jordan rules, and I'm calling now from now on, as long as I'm here, the Patrick Mahomes rules. So you remember when Jordan was going through it with the Pistons, all those guys in the 80s before he came Michael Jordan and Air Jordan, the Pistons used to whoop his. Anytime he came to the home, elbows, feeling them, love taps, we touched them, we in the head, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, I'm touching you.
And props to Warren Sharp for this nugget, as he tweeted out that the NFL has selected Adrian Hill as the ref for Sunday's game. Adrian Hill also happens to be the ref to call the most roughing the passer penalties in the NFL, and is also number 2 in the NFL in terms of defensive penalties called. So if Pierce's Raiders try to use these Jordan rules on Mahomes, then it's likely they're going to get flagged. And you can watch the Chiefs and Raiders Sunday on TSN. Coverage begins at 4:25 Eastern, 1:25 Pacific. Look, guys, it's promo time. Football! Promo time! It's arguably the biggest game in soccer twice a year every year. And sometimes more than that. It's Real Madrid against Barcelona in El Clasico. And it's tomorrow on TSN. Now historically in this matchup, Barca has the edge, with 125 wins to Real's 111, with 64 ending in a draw. And I'm sure you know this already, but Lionel Messi is the top El Clasico goal scorer, with 26 goals in 45 games, with Ronaldo right behind him tied in 2nd, with 18 goals. Real's coming off La Liga and Champions League victories last season. And then all they did to bolster the team was add Kylian Mbappe. But Barca comes into this game on top of the La Liga table, and with all the momentum, as they just smashed Bayern Munich midweek. 4-1 in the Champions League. I bet you my producer lost money on that one. And you can watch El Clasico Saturday on TSN. Coverage begins at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Well, obviously you saw which team I'm cheering for, so... Anyway, we'll see what happens Saturday. And let's keep our promo time hat on for just 1 second, because we're getting close to 24 hours of Blue Mountain. It goes on February 22nd and 23rd weekend, and it's a wonderful weekend on the hill and around the village, all in support of Special Olympics Ontario. We had so much fun last year. Basically, one team member just did a bunch of runs while the rest of us hung out in the chalet. Well, I hung out in the chalet. Some people did runs. I fell on my ass. It's a good time regardless. We got the Rough Riders. We got the Leaf Crew jersey out here. Right? So if that taught you anything, when you come, wear your favorite team on your bag so we can at least chirp. And in case you're wondering, yes, the Bar Down folks will be back again this year. Sam, oh my gosh. I really have no words, and I don't even... If you want to stay warm, you have to keep the beard though, so this is gonna happen. Outside of Sam's photos, you know Jesse's gonna try to steal the show on a weekend like this.
Let's go, baby. 12 years.
Way to be. Here it is.
Well, that's the thing, like, he wants to be seen. That's why he wears the Bar Down jersey. So, I don't know, like, should we make fun of this? And that February weekend is still 4 months away. But this weekend at the Toronto Ski and Snowboard Show, you can pop by the 24-hour Blue Mountain booth to find out more about this unreal event. We just had such a time bonding as a team. So even if you're not great at skiing, I'm not great at skiing or snowboarding, fell on my ass so much, it was still a wonderful time to be had regardless of your skill level. That's all for today. We will see you right back here Monday. Have a great weekend.